We want to bring in Scott MacFarlane, who has been watching those court proceedings and can walk us through it. He's made his way outside the courthouse now. Scott, tell us what it was like inside. What was Donald Trump's demeanor?
Donald Trump leaned right into the microphone on the rectangular table in front of him and pleaded not guilty to these 4 felony counts accusing him of seeking to overturn the 2020 election, which he lost. The special prosecutor just said, Nora, they're not going to seek any detention of Donald Trump or strict release conditions. He's going to be released on a bond he doesn't actually have to post, an surety bond. And there's going to be a requirement he not talk to known witnesses in this case, keeping in mind much of his inner circle could be witnesses in this case. The proceedings are really a garden variety set of proceedings in this courthouse. They do this a dozen times a day. They read the charges. They asked if he'd like them to read the full indictment, all 45 pages. He declined that. They asked him if he needed a taxpayer-funded, court-appointed lawyer. He declined that. He has his own counsel. And a couple things jumped out at me just in his body language. Just like we saw in Manhattan a few months ago and in Miami earlier this summer, he's kind of hunched over, hands clasped, making no use of the pen and paper on the table in front of him, occasionally whispering with or hearing whispers from his attorneys on either side. But this time, Nora, unlike the last 2 times, he really was looking around the room, actively gazing at the spectators, keeping in mind among the spectators are some of the police officers who responded here on January 6th. The special counsel himself, Jack Smith's in the front row of the audience, and 5 sets of rows of spectators in the room, and Trump was looking to see who was there. He had 2 attorneys, one on either side, and he was facing what would be the jury box. And in essence, in between him and the jury box were the 3 prosecutors. His left shoulder was pointed toward the judge, the way this room is configured, so he turned his body, pivoted toward the judge, again still hunched over, again with his hands clasped, spoke in a moderate tone, not terribly forceful, not terribly loud. He said he's not guilty, and one distinctive thing, when the judge asked him his name, he said, quote, Donald J. Trump. John, referencing the J, and then when she asked his age, he said 77, not 77, he said 77. This is going to wrap, and he's going to exit the same way he came in, through one of those secured underground garage entrances, still not accessible to photos. And when this all began, Nora, the judge kindly reminded everybody in the courtroom and the courthouse, no phones, no photos, no taking any video today.
Scott MacFarlane, you always do such an excellent job recapping what happened inside that courtroom. Thank you.